Welcome to the new year, Scorpio. Happy New Year for 2026. This is an important year for you, and I'm going to explain why with some of these very powerful transits impacting your romantic life just now, and especially because you've been going through a period with Uranus in your marital sector. Uranus, the progressive experimental planet, it's doing a retrograde movement at the beginning of the year, which then gives you a final stab at this rather progressive attitude. We're going to talk about what happens with that planet after. But Jupiter as well activates your career and community sectors. Saturn and Neptune revolutionize your working life. And Pluto continues its journey through your fourth house, which is your family, domestic sphere, real estate portfolio, etc. Service, healing, and root excavation are the key words for January and February. The year opens with the North Node in Pisces in the fifth house of creativity and romance and self-expression, with the South Node in the 11th house of friendships and community. So the karmic direction might surprise you. You need to stop getting lost in the groupthink, stop making your friends into your entire identity, and stop critiquing every creative impulse before it has a chance to breathe. Surrender to the playful self-expression and romantic possibility. Stop thinking about it. Get back to those childlike, innocent attitudes that you once had. With the South Node in your 11th house, you'll find that you are very selective with your friends. You're not letting everyone into your personal circle like you used to. This means that you may have less friends, but hopefully better friends. And the North Node in Pisces, in that fifth house of creativity, I think pulls your energy away from social life more into a self-orientated, self-expressive mode. With Jupiter moving through Cancer, this is your ninth house, I think you're finding yourself in your own brand of philosophy or religion. Not traditional. This is excellent for preparing for what's coming later in the year. Neptune moves into Aries, which is your sixth house of work. So there could be some confusion about your working routine, the people you work with, where you actually want to work. So you need to have a look at that. As well as that, your health routines need to be incorporated into more spiritual practices. You need to work in harmony with your environment and in harmony with your inner self. Saturn will also move into Aries on February 13. There's a Saturn-Neptune conjunction as well on February 20th, and that's about integrating your work and your life. It's an important transition for you, and it only happens once every 36 years. This is in your sixth house, so whatever you commit to now regarding your health and your daily routines, your approach to work, service, and your co-workers has staying power. This is about finding work that's both spiritually meaningful and practically sustainable, and of course about health practices. I think you're going to become a lot more serious about achieving that optimum health goal that you've had in the back of your mind for some time now. Between March and May, there's a community release and a mental revolution of sorts. There's a lunar eclipse in Virgo on March 3rd, and that falls in your zone of friendship. Groups, communities, and it brings around a culmination involving these friendships and long-term aspirations. This is also your life goals. Something about your social circle or your relationship to groups comes to a head at this time. And perhaps you're going to be leaving the community. It doesn't align with your goals anymore, but it's certainly a period where you aspire to something a little different and something more in keeping with your inner needs at this time and at this point in your life. It releases the need for friends to also be just so. You may find that some of the new friends you attract aren't exactly following the same sorts of interests, but you just have a connection with them, and that's good enough for you. Jupiter also continues to expand your philosophical horizons in the 9th house, and you'll start to realize that the truth, reality, and all of those other big philosophical words come through experience rather than book knowledge. The spring equinox takes place on March 20th, and it finds you intellectually liberated, but at the same time a little socially uncertain because of what we mentioned earlier, that outgrowing of old friendships. Uranus enters Gemini permanently on April 25th. That's your 8th house, and that begins a 7-year cycle related to intimacy, shared resources, and personal transformation. Uranus is in your 8th house as a particularly potent force for you, Scorpio, because the 8th house is your natural domain. This brings sudden, unexpected shifts in how you share power, resources, how you deal with money, especially in close one-on-one relationships. Inheritances, investments, other aspects of money may be unpredictable, so it's good to tie that down as much as you can. Intimacy will become more experimental and less conventional. In the period of June to July, the career that you're following reaches a peak, and you start to understand your creative calling. With Jupiter entering Leo, your career sector, on June 30, there's a shift into your public status. A big upliftment is likely, and you can see that this was the case perhaps 12 years ago when Jupiter was doing the same thing. You've probably struggled for a while, but now there's an opportunity for you to really take your gifts, your skills out onto the world stage and get the recognition you deserve. On July 26th, the nodes shift, and with the North Node in Aquarius, your 4th house of home and roots, you'll see some desire to have more stability in that area. The South Node enters the 10th house of career along with Jupiter, and this is important. Your work can become more of a spiritual haven for you. Your soul's growth is going to happen through establishing emotional security and creating a home environment that genuinely nurtures you. You can heal family wounds, those aspects of your nature that have been buried beneath the subconscious part of your being. And by doing this, you're going to create a lovely foundation for moving into a much more integrated self and life path. You're being called home now, literally, to create a sanctuary, emotionally to heal old family wounds, and to establish yourself deeply, spiritually, to support the powerful being that you're becoming. The eclipse in August, the solar eclipse in Aquarius, also takes place in your 4th house of family. So there's a re-establishment of what this word actually means. The total solar eclipse in Leo on August 12th lands in your 10th house, with the South Node also there. So this is about releasing yourself from the past confines of the work that you've been doing. There may have been some more satisfying line of work that you've dreamed about. Now's your opportunity to use the power of Jupiter and the South Node to move in that direction. Finally, a couple of weeks later, on August 28th, the partial lunar eclipse in Pisces falls in your 5th house. That brings closure to the creative and romantic focus. The habits that you've been pursuing in the last few years now come to an end, and you're free of all of those impulses. Saturn to December is about building home and sustaining your career at the same time. Jupiter will continue to amplify your career and public recognition till the very end of 2026. You're learning not to let success become your complete identity, but it's okay to enjoy a little bit of that success as long as it doesn't go to your head. Remember, Uranus, pardon me, in the 7th house moves to your 8th house, and this brings an electric and liberating energy to your sexuality and your intimacy in relationships. Those patterns of possessiveness, jealousy, and control are being short-circuited by this, and it's time for you to connect with others who are really on the same page as you in terms of progressing your deeper spiritual needs in relationship. Saturn and Neptune continue their dance in your 6th house for the rest of the year. And so this is about grounding your vision for your work into practical lines. That goes for your health as well. With Pluto still transiting your 4th house, you can expect big shifts, not just in your own self, but in family members' self. So you need to adjust to the spiritual changes that are occurring in their lives as well. Final message for 2026, Scorpio: transform yourself from the inside out. In the first part of 2026, focus on creative surrender and what possibilities there are romantically, while releasing yourself from those social expectations that you've had for the previous years. Work meaningfully through spiritual channels by using the Saturn-Neptune conjunction in your 6th house. In the second part of 2026, your karmic direction is mainly towards your home, your roots, and finding emotional satisfaction on the family front. Your challenge is to build your career as long as it serves your emotional needs, rather than focusing on money and material components of it. By the end of 2026, you'll understand that your real power comes from following your heart's desire along those lines of work that you feel resonant with. You're becoming stable now, and this is going to be an amazing foundation from which to catapult yourself into even bigger and better successes in the years to come. Good luck. Looking forward to your company over the coming months. Look after yourself. Bye-bye.